Right. Week 7 reflection. What happened throughout this week?
Alright, so basically, love, I'm doing this just before I go to a show because I've realised I haven't done my reflections yet.
I've got plenty of time. Alright, so on Monday. Up on Monday. On Monday, oh my god, I should remember. Oh yeah, now I remember. Monday, Leanne's lesson. And what did we do on Monday from 1:30 at 11 from 1:30 to 4:40. No, it wasn't from 1:30 to 4. 1:30 to 3. That's what it was. We had Leanne's lesson. Leanne's lesson was essentially, right, we're going to go through the ending scenes because those are the roughest parts of Midsummer's. And throughout Midsummer Night's Dream, Demetrius, who is my character, he says quite a bit towards the end. However, because over and over again, when we start new rehearsals on a new day, we keep going from the beginning. And because we keep going from the beginning scenes are so much stronger than the ending scenes. We need to do the end. We need to do the end. We need to do that more, and more often. However, we've done the ending scene that day, on Monday. And let me tell you one thing right here, right now. Demetrius needs to learn his lines on the ending scene. So that's something I've got to do. I've got to learn my lines on the ending scene. That's something else. You get me trying to, get a drip check. Yeah, sir. Alright, cool. So, because throughout the ending scene as well, my character Demetrius has taken the real piss. Sorry for cussing, but he is taking the piss out of the mechanicals. Because the mechanicals have been like, I'm a wall. Oh, Pyramus, fizz me. Oh, Pyramus, fizz me. Stuff like that, you get me. And my character Demetrius is like, he's oh, that's going to be some weird ass reflection. But he takes the absolute piss out of them both. Excuse me. Right, cool. He takes the absolute piss out of them both. And I need to work on that. I need to actually research. I need to research Pyramus and Thisbe to kind of understand what my character's saying. Because he says stuff like, oh, here comes Thisbe, here comes Pyramus, or the wall thinks he should cuss again, or stuff like that. So I need to know the story of Pyramus and Thisbe. I actually should research that as part of character development. But anyway, on Tuesday... Oh, my back. So Tuesday we started at 9 o'clock. That was a coursework session on Tuesday. And then we had Ryan, and in that lesson in particular, Ryan gave us a little bit of a pep talk. He said, you know what, you lot need to start getting better, blah, 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 blah. And we did a full run through of Midsummer's. Wasn't bad. It was like a Bill speed run through. Wasn't bad at all. It was actually pretty decent. It was a pretty decent run through. And we got to the end because we skipped a few bits. We skipped quite a lot, actually. So we started a scene, then we just skipped through the scene, and then we just did the ending of the scene. That's what we did. And that wasn't too bad. That actually really, really wasn't bad at all because we were able to work together as a class because most of us were in. 2 people went in, but that's fine. But it is what it is. And then... Oh, my neck. Oh. Sorry about that. And then Wednesday was our day off. And then Thursday came in for Liz's lesson. And in Liz's lesson, I remember this. So we did some of the lover scenes in Liz's lesson. And she gave us this drama school technique where you tap on your chest or you do clicks as you're speaking, every consonant. So for example, oh my god, this is quite tough actually. I am speaking like I am a robot. But at the moment, it was this. You snap your fingers every time there's a consonant, and at first, it made the scenes worse. But to be honest, credit where credit's due for Liz because it got better. We got used to it, we got used to everything else. And you know what, it just shows how much improvement us as characters really need. Then on Friday was the full run through day. Oh, we're at Ryan. Alright, we did a bit of character development. Getting to character development, getting to the mindset of our character, how's our character walk, feel, blah, blah, blah. And we had to really express. We started taking all 4 elements down in this lesson. We did fire, water, earth, and wind. We focused on fire and water, okay? Now, in this character development lesson, Ryan was like, be fire. And we're like, ha, fire, yes, ha. You get me, you got to be quite fury. And it works really, really well with Shakespeare, especially with the lovers. And especially with the lovers scene where it's the cat fight. That's what I'll say right now. I would say that went quite well. That went really, really well. doing fire, and then we did it with water, and then water wasn't that good, and it shows that the lovers are very much more fire than water. Because when we did it as fire, oh my god, that was the best I've ever seen us act, and when we did it with water, it was a hunk of shit. Because water's very much like laid back. I started to get a headache as well from water. It was actually bad. I actually started to get a headache. It was bad, but honestly, big up to Ryan because those elemental lessons were actually really, 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 really helpful for all of us. And then we did the mechanical scenes. I had to play in a Snout in one of the mechanical scenes, and I think I was fire as well with Snout because Paige wasn't in. So I was like, hey, Peter Quince, just being dumb, but also being fire. And then, but something like Puck, I would say, is water or wind. Very more like flowy, but very cheeky, but very, yeah, because I find wind very cheeky. I do. When you have a good hair day, and then the wind just gushes in you, not gushes, sorry, that's not. When you have a good hair day and then the wind just blows in your face, yeah, that's what I feel towards wind. Wind is cheeky, and I think that suits Puck. However, I really like using these elements when it comes to doing scenes, and it made the scenes much stronger in some sense. Things to improve on. I need to research Primus and Thisbe. I'm now off book, which is good. However, I need to understand what my character's actually saying towards the ending scene, because even though I know what I'm saying, I don't know what I'm saying, if that makes sense. I know the words, I don't know the meaning. So I need to know the meaning. So my character, I presume so from reading it over and over again, is taking the absolute piss out of these mechanicals. Because that's Demetrius. He's a cocky little mother effer, He's a cocky guy. But yeah, I believe that's everything. And then, yeah, things to improve on. Know what I've got to say towards the end, like I said. And yeah, but it's going well Midsummers. Even though the show's been moved, but that's fine. But Midsummers, it's going well. People say that, it's all turned to crap, blah, blah, blah. I believe in us in Midsummer Night's Dream. I believe the class can, in fact, do it. We just got to turn up. So thank you, Ryan. Thanks, Leanne, for dealing with my class. And yeah, let's get ready for the year one show.